Hi, I'm Kristen with Wildflowers and Fresh Food, and today Omar Mulla is here with me. He is with OM Personal Training, and I'm going to have you tell us what OM stands for.
So OM actually is my initials. They both are my initials.
Makes sense, right?
It makes sense, Omar Mulla, but it came to become OM Personal Training over time.
Which feels very...
Yes, and so kind of the whole idea is that fitness and health are integrated in all that we do. So it ended up sticking.
Yes.
So.
And you have a sensational business in town, a huge following, and I'm so excited that you are here today.
I'm excited to be here.
And we're gonna make your chicken curry.
Yep,
All right, so let's get started.
Cool. So a chicken curry has so many different renditions all over India.
Yes, I know.
I'm probably the most American Indian you'll probably ever meet.
Okay.
Grew up here, but my parents are both from India. So if you pick one dish that ties to your roots, I think curry is something you have to be able to make.
I love that. It honors your tradition.
Yes. So it's really simple, but it can get complicated, and I think it can seem overwhelming. Yeah. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make it really simple and kind of layer it slowly and piece it together, and it'll make one awesome dish.
So show me how we make this rice, because you're doing it a little bit differently than I normally do it,
yes.
right? Okay.
All we're doing is seasoning the rice beforehand.
Okay.
So normally rice is just boiled in water and that's it, you let it go.
Yeah.
This time we're adding a little bit of spices, just for some color and some fragrance, and then we're gonna add the rice in and boil it.
Okay.
So the first thing we're gonna do is just heat up this pot right here.
All right.
With a little bit of olive oil.
Olive oil?
So
okay.
Just a tad, just enough to kind of cover most of the bottom. And that's probably fine, which would just be a couple tablespoons. You'll notice in Indian cooking there aren't specific measurements. It's just kind of like about this much.
Too.
Yeah, like,
I love that.
But
good.
And while that's heating up, we're gonna rinse the rice.
Okay.
So rinsing the rice gets rid of a lot of the starch, so the texture is a little bit better for fitting with a curry.
Yeah.
And so
we've got Basmati rice.
Yep, Basmati rice.
And that's their traditional rice to
for
use.
most Indian food, they'll use Basmati rice. It's more fragrant, and again, it's just a texture thing. We'll do 2 cups of rice.
Okay.
Because we're draining it, and because we want the certain texture of the rice, we're actually going to use slightly less than double water. So
okay. So let's pour it in here. All right.
Cool.
I love the measuring system.
I know, right?
One bowl's worth.
I guess 1 bowl's worth, right?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. And that pot is plenty big, so it's not going to overflow.
And
put this whole bowl under water here.
Okay.
This is cold water.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Just kind of fill it up. Wash your hands before you do this, people.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to kind of mix it around.
Ooh, I love that
Get in there with your hands.
thing. This is good for kids too.
Oh yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And really
cool. So you're going to do that again, or you just do it the one time?
I just do it one time.
Okay.
Of course, if you talk to my aunties or my uncles in India, it would be multiple times, and they'd actually soak the rice overnight in salt water.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There are a lot of ways to do this, so.
Okay. All right.
Kind of depends on what you're making and the practicality of it.
Okay.
So oil is heating up there. So what we're gonna add is a little bit of Garam Masala, which is an Indian spice blend. My mom made this from homemade, actually. I went and picked some up from her house. But she put...
Shout out to Mom.
I know, right? It's cumin, clove, coriander seed, cardamom, and I think anise. But it's toasted spices that are then put in a coffee grinder and blended, and then you put in here.
Wow.
This is turmeric.
Okay.
And so these are both flavors that we're using in our curry. Yeah. So we want to kind of create some synergy with putting it in the rice as well.
Oh, I love that.
So we're just gonna add a little bit.
It's gonna start to smell so good.
Mm-hmm. So you don't need a whole lot because it's very pungent. So, and then if you'd like to put some turmeric in there,
I would love
just a dash for color.
Okay. It's gonna give it a beautiful color. Okay.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Awesome. And then we're gonna kind of mix that around. So if you have a little
all right.
spatula.
Oh, it's already pretty.
Nice. All right, cool. So
you got that? Okay.
Yep, we're waiting for the spices to kind of sizzle and kind of cook. You'll see the oil kind of move around it.
Okay.
Once we get some movement there, we'll add this rice in.
Okay.
The sequence is really important with a curry, and that's what you'll see. We could just put everything in a pot and boil it.
Yeah.
But it's going to taste very, very different from.
Because you're going to layer it,
yes.
right? Okay. And same thing really in your workouts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a structure based on a science of physiology, and that's how we structure our workouts and how we build things in.
Yeah.
Not just in individual workouts, but in how we progress somebody from fundamentals to something more intense.
So I'm brand new. You're gonna layer me. You're gonna start me here,
Yep.
and then we're gonna incrementally work up.
Yeah. So we're probably about ready to add our rice.
Okay.
So if you want to help me out
I
here.
would love to. Okay, just all of it.
Yep.
Right
You
in
can
there?
just dump
Okay.
all of it in there.
Okay. Well, and tell me, you know, how did you make the decision to be OM Fit personal training? Like, how did that all come to be?
So I've been a trainer for about 7 years, and when I
Okay.
started,
that.
I really just liked to work out. And in high school, it was a way that I built a lot of self-confidence.
Nice.
I just started training, and I realized like I could help people realize that same confidence about themselves through teaching them what I learned. And that's how it started, and then it kind of progressed. And in college, I initially studied marine biology. My dad's an aquaculturist, so I wanted to kind of do what he did.
Nice,
And then I switched to exercise science and started doing pre-physical therapy, and then kept going. And I liked that personal training was a little more hands-on.
Yeah.
For my skill set, it seemed to work better than PT. So.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here, Kristen, is just kind of making sure the rice doesn't
see.
stick to the bottom. And now it's probably about ready. We're going to add a little bit of water.
Okay.
And we'll turn the heat down just a tad for a second. We'll throw some water in.
Let's
So we
grab
have a
that
rice bowl.
Okay.
And well, actually, we're going to do 1 and almost 2 full bowls of water.
Okay.
So the proportion is 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cup of water. So
Okay.
almost 2 cups of water.
All right. So now we're gonna turn that up and get it boiling.
Exactly.
Okay.
So kind of mix it around just so the water infuses with everything that's in there.
Oh, look at the color.
Kind of move it around, make sure no rice is stuck to the bottom of the pan.
So, Omar, show me how to start the first layer of this curry.
Okay, so we have all these ingredients in front of us, a lot of awesome colors. We have onions, garlic, and ginger, and that's gonna form the base. So the first thing we're gonna do is chop an onion.
All right.
Just for the proportion we're using, so we're using 1 onion. You can tell me about how many.
3 cloves of garlic.
Okay, 3 cloves of garlic, and then kind of a chunk of ginger here. So we're taking our onions first.
And I'm noticing you're like me. I don't cut things up into a teeny dice. Like, just kind of cut it up, right?
Like chunks,
Doesn't matter.
you know, as long as it's cut up and it's gonna disperse throughout your curry.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't want like a giant chunk of onion to bite into.
Right. And I think for me, texture is a really nice thing in a dish.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And this will cook down, so.
That's right. All right. Should I start cutting some tomato?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So here we're gonna sprinkle on our garam masala first. I'll let you use that.
Mom's garam masala.
And you don't need a whole lot. So like about a little more. That's perfect. So just to where you can see it.
Okay.
And then from there, you can grab your turmeric. Do the same thing. So just kind of a little shake.
Pretty,
That's perfect.
pretty.
Oh yeah. Awesome. And then kind of mix that around, let that meld.
Gosh, that smells good.
You're gonna feel the onions kind of stick to the pan a little bit, and that's okay for right now.
Okay.
Because once we add the tomatoes, it'll loosen up. So what we're gonna do now is actually add a couple of green chilies.
I love them.
So sometimes you can use chili powder,
Okay.
and green chilies are just kind of a different flavor profile. These are serranos.
I love a serrano chili, and so a lot of people get really intimidated by chilies. I like a serrano chili. I call it a clean heat.
Yeah.
It just feels
Really smooth. And also, if you want to, you can always take the ribs and the seeds out and make it less spicy, but you still get the flavor.
Yeah.
So cut these up any which way. Just want to dice these. Let that kind of cook around. You'll see that the tomatoes kind of cook down, and they'll reduce. It'll start to kind of form. They'll all kind of meld together.
Okay.
And all we want to do while that's happening is just keep it off the bottom, let it kind of move around and melt together.
So we did ginger, garlic, onion. Then we added tomato and serrano. Now we're doing a layer of cilantro.
And then you put a little bit of salt in there, bring out the flavors.
Salt.
And salt, you can salt your chicken also when you put it in instead of doing it in the onion itself.
Pop it in?
Exactly.
Okay. Alrighty.
Got it.
Oh, look how that got so dark and pretty. Wow.
Kind of all the spices and everything kind of melding together.
Wow, beautiful.
Okay. Awesome. So when we stir it, okay, so we put the we put the chicken on top of what was melding in the bottom.
Beautiful.
So we want to fold it on top of itself. So kind of push from the bottom and then turn it over.
Oh, nice technique.
And go around. That way, kind of get all the flavors onto the chicken.
Coating.
And you're also not tearing up the chicken before it's really set. So, and fully coating it.
Yeah. All right, so we've got our chicken curry our rice.
Spiced
or
rice,
just
masala rice.
Masala rice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
masala rice, masala just means a blend of spices.
Ah,
So.
very nice. Okay, and our
Raita,
raita.
yeah,
Okay, awesome.
which is just yogurt
Okay,
and
show me how
vegetables.
you would serve this at home.
Cool. So start with some rice, and be careful not to spill it over your beautiful counter.
No, that's okay.
Gave you some right
That's
there.
part of. Cool. Love it.
So from there, we'll take some curry,
Okay.
and usually just take some chicken pieces and throw it kind of on top
Okay,
of
so
the
right
rice.
on top.
Mhm.
Nice.
And then
Some
a lot of the
juices.
gravy. Yep.
Yeah.
That's really where
Juices
the heart of the
would-
curry
yeah.
is. And so kind of spoon it over the whole
Yeah.
thing.
And I love thin sauces. So this is a thinner sauce. It's
Yeah.
nice. I really love it.
And I can go either way
Yeah.
with preference. If you wanted a thinner sauce, we would just use less water
Yeah.
when during the curry.
Yeah.
And then you take some raita, you put it on the side.
Beautiful. It's gonna be so cooling.
Oh, yeah.
to have that.
Perfect. Finish touches. And that's our curry.
Oh, that's so pretty. I'm Kristen with Wildflowers and Fresh Food. This is Omar Mulla with Personal Training. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and wildflowersandfreshfood.com. And you can find Omar.
On Instagram and Facebook as well.
Awesome. Okay.